Howdy, everybody. This is Shay Rippinger of Hip the Hoopla, and welcome to the Hoop Love Y'all show. And we're coming to you live from Denver, Colorado. Actually, technically Lakewood, but anyway, we are here. And the theme tonight is celebrate. So, hello, thanks for joining. Hi, Joan. So. Yes. Okay. So if you see me like glancing down, I'm trying to read messages as they come in. This is a live show, so feel free to put your comments in there. I may not type an answer, but I will try and address it live on air. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. And again, the theme tonight is celebrate. It's so bright in here. This is one thing I do like about daylight savings time is when we do that. So we are, and the reason why tonight's theme is celebrate is because it's my birthday tomorrow. But technically, I've already been celebrating for at least a week, so I've been looking forward to it. And since my husband's out of commission for this week for partying nearby, we're going to. So we already did early celebrating and found lovely restaurants and all that kind of good stuff. So. A new find. He's like, how'd you find this one? I'm like, Google. And it just went to the area that I wanted to go hang out at. And so, anyway, fun stuff. So, shout out to Cafe Terracotta in Old Town Littleton. Oh my goodness, that was really good. So, yes. So, let's start out with a little laughter yoga exercise. We're going to keep it simple. So, actually, this one is about just like sometimes when you're in your day and you're a little stressed out and stuff like that and you start slumping over. This one is a little less of a laughter yoga technically exercise as it is just a breathing exercise. But anyway, we're going to call it a laughter yoga exercise because I'm going to be funny while describing it, okay? So anyway, so we're going to take a nice deep breath in. And when we do that, we're going to roll the shoulders back. So try that again. So we're going to breathe it in. And then when you exhale, release and roll the shoulders back and leave that chest nice and lifted. So we're going to inhale and roll the shoulders back. Inhale, exhale, roll the shoulders back. And let's try that one more time. So inhale it in. I'm looking down, but you don't have to look down to begin with. But the point of this is, and when you exhale that out, you want to leave this nice lifted posture position. So you want to keep that chest nice and lifted. This is going to expand your lung capacity, and this is going to help your laughing and smiling and positive capabilities greatly. So when we start getting slumped over in our chairs, especially when we're working on the computer, when you're texting, when you're doing whatever, even if somebody's like and we get like this. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. And come back into your power and come up and doing your love, your light, and your laughter and all that kind of good stuff. So at the end of laughter yoga exercises, again, we're going to fake out like this is one. So we're going to go, very good, yay. Very good, yay. And again, that's a shout out to Dr. Kataria, who started laughter yoga, and his wife. Anyway, on with the show. So I wanted to give you guys a little update, so not to be a bummer, but I'm going to try and say this in a nice light way because I've had a change of perspective. So last week, you may have tuned in. I had an extra long show. It went very long, and I don't want to say apologies for going long because it needed to be however long it was because... Yeah, I got a melanoma diagnosis, which, when you hear the word cancer, actually, I didn't technically hear that word, but of course that's what that means. And so, the guy that told me, he's a physician's assistant. Anyway, I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on that story. So if you want to see the more detailed version of that story of how I found out and all that stuff, like a week before my birthday, oh yay, go back and watch the last video. The last video was themed, what was it? I think it was Emerge, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it's up on YouTube, so you can watch that in its entirety because the Facebook Live cut out midway because I pushed the wrong button. Anyway, so basic little short synopsis update is that I talked to a lovely person over at, so she's a medical assistant. So I'm learning the different levels of medical people. So you think of the doctor as being up on the pedestal and stuff like that, but there's some really neat people. I've always had mad respect for nurses. But also, I'm learning about like physician's assistants and stuff like that. Although there's a particular physician's assistant I'm not like really thrilled with. So, give you a little mini synopsis of that, and that is, I called up the office just to ask some questions because at first when I got the news on the previous Friday, he's like, "Do you have any questions?" I'm like, I don't know, you know. No, I don't. What do you ask when you don't know what to ask? So after you think about it for a while, then you're like, I have some questions. I'm making a list. So I'm checking it twice. Not Santa Claus. But anyway, so I called up the office, and this gal Donna was really very accommodating with me and very knowledgeable, and she's a medical assistant. So she's been with the office for like 15 years and works with these the medical professionals there. Of which I found out that the guy that I work with is not an actual doctor. He's a physician's assistant. Apparently, they do the same things as the doctors do, but again, not a doctor. So, and if you weren't with me last week, this guy had the bedside manner of a cardboard box, was my initial assessment. I have the same assessment of him, except more so. Now, I nicknamed him last week. I'm changing my nickname from Happy Right to Beavis. So I'm nicknaming him Beavis because it's way nicer than saying Butthead. So anyway, and the reason why I came to that change of nicknames, because I used to nickname all my mom's cancer doctors and stuff like that, and a lot of them were really nice and pleasant, but except for the one that I nicknamed Dr. Sunshine. She was not pleasant. But anyway, it was a euphemistic nickname. So, and I don't even remember what her real name was because we only called her Dr. Sunshine. Not to her face, though. We should have. Maybe she would have been nicer. Anyway, so I called up the office this last Friday, so having sat on this information for a week and finding out, more about it and stuff like that. I am obviously not in the tearful mode as I was last week. I don't know, when you say stuff that, when you have to like say it to the world, and I did not have to say it to the world, by the way. I didn't know up until airtime that I was going to make the announcement publicly because I was like, I think I'll just keep it to myself, and I didn't know. I was really... It could have gone either way. I had notes. It was based on that, but anyway. I did say it, and I did cry about it, and I didn't, and actually it was kind of like the first time I cried about it was weirdly on air. Well, that's how it goes. Anyway, after talking with Donna, she had mentioned, so also last week on air, I did a live demonstration. So I have like this mole that was on this side of my arm. I was wearing short sleeves last week, and I gave you a live demonstration of the treatment that I am doing, and it's not to negate the Western medicine treatment, but I was doing a cannabis oil with a Band-Aid over the patch that they took the biopsy out of. So obviously they needed to do an excision appointment, which means they go in and they take out more cells. I'm learning all this terminology. They take out more cells and then they test it and make sure they got clear margins. More jargon and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, so I wanted to know for myself, I didn't want to cancel my excision appointment, but I wanted to know if the stuff that I was doing was helping, if it was actually pulling out and curing my cancer. So I was going to try it. And a lot of people who have documented their progress with doing this type of treatment have gotten progress out of 3 days. And so I was going to be doing about a week's worth or so, because what we decided was that they could do what they call a punch biopsy. So where they go in and they they described it to me like a little melon ball scoop, not the size of a melon ball scoop, you can not that big, but they take more cells and they go a little bit deeper. So, but it's still from what was explained to me, it's still a smaller little hole than the excision that they were going to do to take out the whole thing. So, and one of the questions that I asked was, the excision, do you there's apparently a procedure that my mother-in-law Joan told me about, Mama Joan, shout out to Mama Joan, that is called Mohs procedure. And interestingly enough, on a very side note, I ran into at the Green Herb the granddaughter, so like step granddaughter, and she's like, "That's my step grandfather that created this procedure." I'm like, "What are the odds?" Like how wacky is that? So she's like, "Hey, have you heard about this procedure?" Before she told me about that, and I'm like, "Yes, I have." She goes, "That's my family," and I was like, "That's really awesome. That's really cool." And she also gave me a really cool information about B17, which is Laetrile, which is one of the trips that me and my mom took a trip down to Mexico when she had cancer on her first round, to go down to get this treatment because it's not legal in the U.S., but there's a lot of people who have had success with it, and so she wanted to try that. So she went through traditional cancer treatments as well, which took out her insides. And when I mean took out her insides, I don't mean they scooped them out. I mean they zapped them out, because they zapped them into non-working function. So because of radiation and chemo. So not something I follow. I observed it. I didn't know anything other than what we were told with the medical community with that. So anyway, fast forward to my case here, and so we set up an appointment for Monday. So today's Monday. If you're watching the recording of this, it might not be Monday when you're watching this. But anyway, we set up this appointment for 9:30 this morning on Friday. So Donna calls me back. I had since gone in to get a blood test done for some other stuff, for the candida stuff, to see how I'm doing with that. Turns out I'm progressing very well with the candida diet. If you've been following me on my journey on that, that's been challenging but necessary. And also candida can be a precursor for cancer. Didn't know that before, and so I'm paying attention to this stuff now. Anyway, so we scheduled that punch biopsy. She calls me back later on that day. She said, not doctor, because he's not a doctor, physician's assistant, said Beavis, we'll call him physician's assistant. No, that's too much of a mouthful. Physician's assistant Beavis. Anyway, we'll call him Mr. Beavis just to be considerate. But as you well know, I'm kind of not being considerate with this. But anyway, so apparently he canceled the appointment because he's like, "No, we don't do that. We just have her come in for the excision." Well, no offense, but that wasn't his decision to make. Hence why I nicknamed him Beavis instead of Butthead. But I really want to call him Butthead. So anyway, he canceled my appointment. So I thought that was a pretty jerky move. I was really upset about that. Donna, who had to make that phone call to me, was also not thrilled with it because she knew my position about how I wanted to see, wasn't canceling my excision appointment, but I wanted to see how that worked. So anyway, and then interestingly enough, so I was actually going to go to the office this morning and go there, and also I can get my own medical records and take them elsewhere, which is one of the things I looked into over the weekend. I'm like, what? Especially after that Friday call, I was like, so, and because I'm like, that's really no. You should have a healthcare provider that is on your team, that is working on your behalf with you, so not against you. And so I feel like Mr. Butthead, who I'm calling Beavis instead, because MTV team in the '80s. Anyway, that's my bad imitation. I don't even know which one that one was, but fire. So anyway, I ended up calling up another office. I looked online, found out another place. So they have, the good news about this office is they have a lab on site so they can test and do all this stuff. They don't want to do the Mohs procedure because apparently they take out frozen cells and they go, no, that's not accurate and stuff like that. Except, a lot of people have had success with it. So anyway, they want to do things the way they want to do things, and that seems to be the way they do things. So, and I want to do things slightly differently, and I would like the option to be able to do that. So anyway, I set up an appointment this Friday to another office. So I will go grab my medical records, have somebody else take a look at it who's a little bit more compassionate, understanding, and they also it's more of a holistic office. So they take into consideration your whole health. your diet, your exercise, all of that kind of stuff, like really holistic health, which is what we should all be doing. So anyway, not just, like, here's what we do, we scrape it out, and that's, then we're done, blah, 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 and then this is how we do it, and you just follow our protocol. It's like, well, I think integrative medicine is a good idea. So anyway, so since getting this diagnosis, it's been really interesting because I've had this overwhelming, and this goes with the celebrate theme, overwhelming sense of what I call supreme gratitude. So, I thought I was a grateful person before, but just like this, it's like a warmth that has been rushing over me. Like, it's hard to describe, but I'm sure other people who have gotten something really major, whether it be somebody that went through an accident and they still have them available, or they, something happened, they did lose somebody, and they still have remaining people left, and you have to like cherish each moment. And those wake up calls, really, this was a wake up call for me. I thought I was already awake, but just like anything, we think we're doing okay, and we think, it's good, but man, when you really have an appreciation of like, wow, I like that, I love you, this is awesome, this is wonderful. Spend more time with the people and things that you love, and just really, and that self-service time too, of just really putting in the effort to take care of self. That has become a numero uno priority. Even though I talked about it before, like a lot of things, do as I say, not as I do. But now I'm actually, walking the talk, because, doing a lot more of that. So, on that note, interesting thing to come out of last week's thing. Again, didn't know that I was going to go online and announce all of that stuff, but I hadn't called up my dad first, who is like my last remaining closest blood relative, because my mom has already passed. I have stepmoms and stuff like that, but literally I did not call him. We have an interesting relationship. It's not like the most, like cuddly buddy kind of thing. It's a respectful parent and a disciplined kid, not in a beating kind of way, but just like emotionally disciplined. And he grew up, this is all I have to tell you, Catholic military boys school. Okay? So let's leave it at that. But anyway, he's a really good guy, has given me a lot of good advice in life, but was not real happy to find out that way. So we had a fairly rough conversation that first time, and it went okay. I had to spit out a lot of stuff pretty quick, because there was a time frame that I needed to spit out all this information before he went into the next thing. So anyway, but one of the interesting things is, since I'm doing this show, he said, you could have said that shorter. I'm like, yeah, I know. I wasn't planning on I wasn't sure if I was going to say it. So he goes, there's this great book. I'm going to send it to you for my birthday, for your birthday. And so it already got to me. So, and I was like so happy that he sent it to me. And it is, let's see here. I'm going to throw a bookmark in here so it doesn't look quite so la. So the book is called TED Talks. And so I was really thankful. I've read a few chapters. Trying to get through, I hear this cool thing about business professionals, how they do a book a week. Read a book a week. I'm not quite sure how. I'm not a fast reader, and I really do like to get the content, and so I'm one of those people that like reads aloud in my head and all that kind of stuff. So I've even tried to take speed reading courses, but I haven't gotten much of the grasp of them yet. So, yet. Remember I said yet. So, doesn't mean that it's impossible. But anyway, good book so far, and I'm also going to get another book from the library that's an audiobook, so I'm a big fan of audiobooks. Also, shout out to my dad, who got me into really education, a lot of higher education, of just continuing education. Reading, finding a lot of stuff online. An interesting thing I heard about books is that an author researches like 5 to 10 years to write a book. So they're taking all of their knowledge and condensing it into this format, and then you get the benefit of that. So you're almost getting like the Cliff Notes version of all the stuff that they've studied. So I think that's a pretty cool thing to be able to read a book and get that kind of information. So also on that note, my dad has gotten me into like audiobooks. I love audiobooks. I got an old roommate into that when she had been in a car accident. She had injured her shoulder so badly, and she couldn't sleep at night because the pain was so bad. And so she would, it would hurt for her to hold up the book, but she would be up for a really long period of time. I suggested audiobooks, and I started getting her some extra books from the library, audiobooks, and she loved certain kinds. I love like nonfiction and self-help type of things, and really things that increase my knowledge. I also started getting into like some novel stuff every once in a while. I call those my what do you call it? Guilty pleasure, especially good guilty pleasure of like stuff that it's trashy. It doesn't really have any redeeming qualities. It's just entertaining and like cotton candy. You don't really get a lot out of it, but you enjoy it while you're eating it. But it just, and then once you've eaten it, it's like, there was nothing there. Anyway, so, but yeah, I got into the audiobooks, and so it's kind of cool because you can do other things while you're listening to an audiobook. So like cleaning or ironing or doing the laundry or whatever has been a lot of fun. And also I've actually made like doing the laundry, which is not one of my favorite things to do, but I've made it more fun. Now I actually really enjoy it because I'm trying to make an appreciation out of it and celebrating it because A, I have laundry to do, B, I have facilities to do it at, and C, I can put on, there's a great comedy station in Denver, a radio station, and I put that on, and they have like comedy bits, like one right after another, some commercial breaks. You can find whatever online too, so you can, non-commercial ones, and I highly recommend them. So because part of my healing process of celebration, not only laughter yoga, but I have been getting in lots of laughter a day and a lot of smiling, a lot of appreciation and a lot of gratitude, but just getting in just that joy. But a lot of laughter is fun and, just a great way to do that. So, and I don't know why, but that comedy station wasn't as funny to me before, and now it's like way more funny. I'm laughing, doing out loud laughs even more and more now, which I really like. And so I'm just trying to appreciate it because also it's hard to do comedy, stand-up comedy. I have tried it. It's a biatch. So I tried it twice and got a lot of mercy laughs. So this is, I suppose, my variation of stand-up comedy, except I'm sitting. So anyway, sit-down comedy? Yeah, okay. So anyway. But I highly recommend getting laughter in, watching a lot of comedies, whatever makes you happy. So as long as it doesn't harm somebody else, of course. So whether it's, watching YouTube videos of, like babies or kittens, the little kitten that goes, and you like touch the little belly and the little kitten makes that sound, or the little thing. It's really cute. There's a, what's the movie that I just watched? It's the Emoji Movie. There's a really cute scene in there with a little kitten video of doing that. And it said, all the bad guys will be occupied for a while watching this. And the bad guys are like, with the kitten. So, watch stuff like that. If it entertains you, then enjoy it and smile and get that joy, that's endorphin rush. And the reason why I bring that up is because that is really helpful for healing. So if you're trying to, I'm going through my story, but you might be going through something for you that you can relate to this, of whatever. It could be a trauma in your life. It could be a temporary hardship or crisis. It could be something small. It could be something huge. But if you can see the point of it, see it, twist it around, turn it upside it, so you're not just seeing the negativity out of it, but see the lessons out of it, see the joy, see the something good to come out of it. So for me it was like, oh yeah, I don't have to like take this person's advice and be treated like that as like a less than kind of way, because I don't appreciate that. There would have been a time in my life I would have been totally steamrolled with this, and I was steamrolled right at first, but then I'm like, no, 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 no. I just go back to that guy and, piece of my mind, dude. So, come into your power. So I've learned to step up and do that a little bit better. So anyway, yeah, laugh, get those healthy endorphins that boost your serotonin levels, and it helps heal. So if you're going through things, especially if you're going through things with pain, like actual physical pain, laughter actually is a natural pain remedy. So it's not like taking a drug where it automatically goes, boom, pain gone. But you might have side effects from that stuff. The side effect for laughter is happiness, or also reducing pain considerably. So the more you can laugh, the more you get those happy endorphins going up, the better things are. So, and the faster you heal. So that's been documented, scientific stuff. Look up Dr. Norman Cousins, and you'll be amazed with some of that stuff. Okay, on to some of my healthy recommendations. So, since it's my birthday, nobody get me a birthday cake, please, because I can't eat it right now. So, but I am not going to be deprived. So, one of the things, okay, so this is in the Yum to Try section. So these, I just made these, and they're really good. I made them actually pretty. I actually have like a jar where I've mixed all of the stuff that before I put it in the little ball format. So if you've ever watched Saturday Night Live and watched the Sweaty Balls segment, it's an NPR skit. It's really, really funny. Alec Baldwin and some great cast members. Anyway, what this is some almond butter. There's some other goodies things in this. I'm going to put the recipe up on my website on hipthehoopla.com. And some of these I rolled in coconut flakes, and some I rolled in roasted carob powder. That's a mouthful. Anyway, speaking of mouthfuls, I want to eat them. So these are, I'm calling these a crunchy truffle because they also have cacao nibs in them. So I was at Whole Foods and I was looking for the cocoa nibs, and the gal said, cacao nibs? Like, I didn't hear you until you pronounce it right. So anyway, they're cacao nibs. And I've talked about them before as cocoa nibs. Whatever. Anyway, pronounce it how you like. But they're very delicious and they're crunchy. So these, like I said, I'll put the recipe up. I'd put a little birthday candle in here, but A, I didn't have time to go find my birthday candles, and B, I just made them kind of tiny. So they're, anyway, the candle would probably go, anyway. So, and then we'd start a fire in here, and I'd have to get all my fire safety drills. We're not doing fire dancing tonight. Anyway, so on that note, with the Yum to Try, I'm recommending roasted carob powder. So if you haven't tried this before, it's pretty cool. We used to have a health food store, and that's where I learned about this one. I didn't used to be a carob fan, but it's, if you like cocoa powder, so this doesn't have any sugar in it. So it's just roasted carob, and it's very similar to chocolate. Now, this took me a while to develop a palate for this. So if you like chocolate, it might take you a little extra to develop a palate for this. But anyway, I like this now, and I have some, so I'm using it. So I had a lot of it, so I needed to use it up. So then we also got from Trader Joe's raw almond butter. I have two of them here because one is a creamy, which I normally like a creamy one, but I also got the crunchy one because I wanted to make this little the crunchy truffle. So I use that, and that's pretty good. And actually, these are lovely. So these are a little on the expensive side. Obviously, if you can get organic, definitely get it. A lot of times, if you go to your health food store, they have fresh ground stuff. I highly recommend that because then it hasn't been sitting, being processed and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty fresh and all that kind of good stuff. Or you can grind it yourself. Yeah, actually, you can grind it yourself too. So there's ways to do that. I'm sure there's some videos online of how to make your own because almonds, that would be way more affordable. Anyway, so roasted carob powder, almond butter. So this is also a great substitute for peanut butter. So a lot of people have peanut allergies, and I'm finding this out, and also peanuts tend to have mold in them. So if you have any issues with allergies at all, you might want to get peanuts out of your diet just at least temporarily and try it out and see how your body feels. So again, I'm not recommending medical stuff, but I do believe that food is not only fuel, but food is medicine. So give that a shot, because whatever you put in your body is going to make a big difference. So my next recommendation is avocado oil. Good stuff. So me and my husband had stumbled upon this, and I think we'd both heard about it before, but now it's becoming all the rage. And the nice thing about this is it has a high smoke point, which means that you can cook at higher temperatures with this. So it's a very nice, light, innocuous oil. So it doesn't have like a huge flavor to it. It doesn't taste like avocados. It just tastes like a nice, really light oil. So, and if you can get organic, great. And I think we found this originally at Ross. Now they have these in the grocery stores. A lot of the Trader Joe's has it now. All kinds of stuff. So give it a try. It's nice and light in salad dressings. You can use it in other stuff too. And to drizzle a little extra oil over your food after you cook it. So just use a little bit for cooking, and then afterwards you get the more of the benefits from the oil. So the nutritional benefits. So, okay. Moving along, so thank you so much for sticking around with me and celebrating with me. We're going to move to some hoop moves, okay? So again, celebratory is the theme tonight, and so this is kind of funny because I'm like, what's a celebratory move? And I'm like, okay, and how high are my ceilings? Because the move I want to do is called a pizza toss. And it's like, yeah, great. Why don't I do the move that I can't have right now? Or not that I can't have the move, but the food. But it's not true. I can't have pizza, but a traditional pizza. I can get creative, and I'm a good cook. So as I get up from my chair, I like to show you my, I call it my, what am I calling it? My T-shirt motivation. I don't know why I'm into fun T-shirts with like fun sayings on them, and sometimes they're not always T-shirts, but anyway, I'd gotten this one. It was a fairly tight T-shirt, so I did a whole bunch of stuff to it, including taking the whole back and doing some slicey to it, some little artistic stuff. You can find out how to do this online on YouTube, but you just do nice geometric patterns in there, and now it fits. So now it's not like it is a little bit, but anyway. With doing this candida diet with lots of veggies, it fits a lot better now, I'll tell you that. So, anyway. Okay, so we're going to grab our hoop. I'm going to try and move the chair out of the way. Still getting silly. All right, so this pizza toss move, I'm going to try and demonstrate it first, is we're going to take this up. We're going to knock everything over, including the tray of crunchy truffle balls. Okay, we're going to move those out of the way. All right, so let's try that again. So we're going to get this going, and we're taking this up, catching, and that's going to be our pizza toss. There's also a thing called the dirty pizza toss, where you grab with the feet and then from the ground up, and that's a hard one. That's a really hard one. This is definitely an intermediate move. One of the things you need to know first is going to be a back pickup. So you want to know that back pickup first. So I'm going to go over that really, really briefly, just for a review. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to have the hand at the small of the back. You'll be waist hooping kind of at the small of your back. I'm using a very small hoop. Definitely keys to getting this move, use a bigger hoop. So a bigger hoop, you will have more time because it's going to be rotating slower to get this move successfully. When it's up in the air, then you have a bigger, heavier hoop to catch, but you will still have more time to execute that move. So anyway, we're going to get this going. I'm going to get this going to the right side. And you're going to stick your hand, and you're going to let this roll over your hand. You're going to grab it, and as you grab, this is the move that you're going to do. So you want to practice just this. You're going to take the hand up the body and up. And so all the way up. I'm going to go down so that you can see where my hand is. So you go, and you want to make sure try not to do this. So if you're having a hard time with this move, try not to go right here. If you go into that L format, hi Reva, nice to see you. So if you go into that L format, then you're going to, what happens is you pull the hoop out and the hoop droops here, and then you have two things that can happen. You smack yourself in the face with your hand, and you can also smack yourself in the face with your hoop. And also what I call hoop ED or hoop droop is your hoop, you want your hoop to stay like this while going up. So this is going to be a really quick pickup, so you want to hug the body with the hand. So just do this nice little sultry move, like, but really fast. And go up with it. So, hearts out to you guys too. All right, so I've got comments coming through. So definitely comment online, and I will type in comments after the live feed. And if you have any questions, type them in. And I always appreciate your comments, your likes, your shares. That is all really lovely. Okay, and Facebook loves when you comment because then they boost you up in the ratings. So, and let's see here, and YouTube likes comments as well, and they like the thumbs up. So, and watching and viewing time, especially on the YouTube. So, all right, we're going up. We're going to take this and go up with this and go really quickly with this. So, another thing to try with this to help make that back pickup, and again, this is the first part of the pizza toss. To make this successful, make sure this goes up really fast. Whip it up. Okay? So, and when you first start tossing the hoop, you're going to just slightly release it and have the other hand to grab it right away. So you don't, so like I have a very low ceiling in here, I will probably hit the lamp up here again. So, you're going to take this up. And so to make this a little bit more successful, turn in the direction that your hoop is going. So you're going to turn, and you will have less. Now, and then the tendency is to do this with your hand as you're coming up. So you want to try and get this really up fast. So you try not to do this because that helps get the hand hitting your head and the hoop hitting your head. So you want to get this going fast. Up, whoop. This is a small hoop. You'd have to do it even faster with a small hoop. So, oh, that smells so good in here. So this is one of my birthday gifts from my husband. Is a jasmine plant. I got a jasmine plant. It smells so fabulous. This was my mom's favorite plant. So if you ever have a chance to get a jasmine plant or go buy one, like a real one. This is my second one that I'm trying. I'm like, this one might stay indoors because the last one I tried, I thought I would be able to grow it outdoors. That did not work. Okay, second part of this pizza toss. Okay, we did a real quick review on how to do a back pickup. Back pickup. Now, when you're going to do a back pickup, you get this up, and you're going to release the hoop. Release it just a little bit. So don't go, wah, and throw it, because then it's going to bounce around. If you're outside, you definitely do it. But the higher it goes, the more uncontrolled it can be. So at least when you're first starting, get this as a control movement. Control, toss, and then get that other hand up there. At first, you're just going to be trying to get your hand somewhere in here to catch it. So you might just have to end up with a hook hand. After practicing this quite a bit, then you can get this where you can grab and get a more controlled grip to grab it and do that. There are tons of variations of what to do, of how to grab it. You can do all kinds of things. You can do, let's see here, there's a, trying to think of this one. Actually, I usually do this one as coming up like that. But you can do that, but you have to do some extra twisty things to get that down so that it's this way as opposed to this way. So, but depending on how it's coming down, so however you throw it, there might be, that might dictate how you catch it. So however it's coming down, if it's coming down like this, you might be able to, do different things where you're getting it into a fold, doing whatever. Or if it's coming down, ideally you want to have this almost, a practice move to lead up to this is a vortex. So a vortex move is where you're going up, grabbing and bringing it down. Up, grabbing, bringing it down. Up, grabbing, bringing it down. So the pizza toss is that same move, but you're releasing up at the top instead of just grabbing it. So instead of coming up, grabbing and bringing it down, up, grabbing and bringing it down, you're going up, toss, catch, and bringing it down, however you want. So that is today's celebratory move, because we're celebrating my birthday and whatever you are celebrating too. So hopefully you're celebrating life. If you're watching this when I'm doing this, you might be celebrating spring. We just celebrated Easter. That was fun. I got a little Easter basket, and it was so sweet because it didn't have sweets in it. I was so excited. So this is who I puppy nanny for, and I thought, oh my God, that's all candy. Turns out it's not candy. It's like garden seeds and garden gloves and like little garden markers. I was like so sweet. So thanks, shout out to Jen, who was so sweet to give this to me, and Brown and John. So the whole family who I puppy nanny for. Brown is the dog. So anyway, so keep calm, sparkle on. Keep calm and sparkle. I guess it doesn't say on. But anyway, and it's got glittery and all that kind of good stuff. So that is today's show of, getting some of that celebratory stuff. So we're going to take it and take same laughter yoga exercise that we did at the beginning. So we're going to take that nice deep breath in. And I'm going to do this sideways this time. So we're going to take a breath in. Inhale it in. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale it out. Inhale it in. Roll the shoulders back, exhale it out, and smile when you do this too. And if you want, you can laugh on this too. Thank you, Reva. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Inhale it in, roll the shoulders back, and exhale it out. And then we're going to do one more let's do 2 more as laughter yoga. So we're going to take it in. As we exhale it out, we'll laugh it out. So we're going to step up the beginning one from just keeping this as a breath, where you change your posture with this breath, but we're actually going to add in a little bit of laughter. Ready? Take an inhale in. Laugh it out. Inhale it in. Laugh it all the way out. Third time's the charm. Ready? Let's go. Inhale it in. Laugh it all the way out. At the end of our laughter yoga exercises, we got very good, yay. Very good, yay. So again, acupressure points on all the hands, and so that's a lovely thing to do. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Again, my name is Shay Rippinger of Hip the Hoopla, and this has been the Hoop Love Y'all show, where we cover health, humor, and hooping, kind of generally in that order. So we give you some good stuff, the yum to try, the stuff from the test kitchens, and just healthy lifestyle living. So positivity. Just hopefully bringing a little bit of joy to your week. I know last week was kind of a bit of a downer, but still even in that, again, appreciation. So I wanted to be thankful for all of my gifts, and it's not just the gifts that you're given, but the gifts that you have, like your sense of intelligence, your kindness, the people that surround you, the home that you get to be in, and home is what you make of it. The things that you get to do. And so one day this past week, instead of writing out my to-do list, I wrote out today's opportunities. That's what I put at the top. And boy, did that feel like a better list to go about doing. So yeah, try that. If you like. All of these are mere suggestions. There's things that I'm trying. I appreciate you coming along for the ride and the adventure, and thank you so much. So, alrighty. I'm going to go read some more of this book. Actually, I'll get these all posted. I'll put some links up. I'll get the recipes up for my little yummy, crunchy truffle balls. As Beavis and Butthead would say, he said balls. Again, I don't have a really good impersonation of it, but it's funny. Sometimes when you do things badly, it's funnier. So there's times where I don't do things right on purpose or in the best way, because it's funnier that way. I've spent a lot of time, many years, like over 2 decades, being a cartoonist and learning about humor and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, I like seeing things, like sometimes when I misread something, it's way funnier the way I see it. So it gives me a chance to laugh. And I like any chance to laugh when possible. So yeah, go out and laugh during your week. I hope you have a happy day, happy night. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you spending time with me. And if there's anything I can help you out with, just let me know. Hopefully my story, my journey will be either help or motivation, or maybe you can learn from it along the way. It's really cool when you can learn from somebody else's lesson, so you don't have to do it. You don't have to like beat your head against the same wall yourself. So give it a shot. You know, we all have some walls that we have to go beat our heads up against. You know, it's just life. But we don't have to react in that way, is I guess what I'm trying to say on that. So again, thank you so much for watching. I got out in a little bit better time. Still, I'm going to be getting, so when I read more of this book, we'll be getting these a little bit tighter. Still, I do have notes and stuff like that. So, I did follow my notes very well. I just didn't follow the time. So, speaking of which, that's one of the things I need to do is fix my watch. I tried to fix it today, and it turns out this can't be fixed in the same way unless I make a new watch band. So seriously, this is like a Hooper repair. You got to check this out. So seriously, this is hoop tape holding my watch together. Hoop tape, and I broke the rubber band. Otherwise, I'd have a little rubber band on this. It's been really... But my husband got me with this watch, and I really like this watch. Even though it doesn't have a second hand, I actually prefer a watch with a second hand. So for my birthday, I might be getting myself like a little... I like cheap watches because I like to beat the crap out of them. So I don't want a really expensive fancy watch. So nobody get me a Rolex unless it's like a fake one. And like a teeny tiny, I like it nice thin. And anyway, I'm going to get myself a watch. So you don't need to get me that. All you need to get me, if you want to get a gift, is... donate to, let's see here, something really wonderful. It has like puppies and kittens in it. So like if you have an animal shelter near you and want to make a donation, that would be lovely. That would be a lovely gift. So, and as a gift, and you don't even have to put it in my name, put it in your name, because, and just heart out, shout out, because that's like one of those things that's near and dear to my heart. Or foster kids, that's another thing that, they need some help in life. So, the gifts that we can give every day. And smile. That's the gift that you can give that doesn't cost anything. Smile, be there for people, have a sense of appreciation, listening ear, but also positivity, so you help people not circle the drain, but give them positivity and feedback. I just found out that, thank you, Patty. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I just found out that something major happened to one of my family members. And so I like to send out, a lot of us pray. Some people don't believe in prayer, but I like to send out positive, happy, healing energy. So I'm sending this out to our family member who needs that. So sending lots of love and light in that direction. So, and as soon as I can call you, when you're able to receive calls and laugh, hopefully laughter will be a good thing to help. And I will be calling to do that. So anyway, I'm going to ask the family if that's okay to do that first too. So anyway, not everybody works the same way that I do, but I had a friend of mine who was in the hospital one time. She's like, yours is the only call I'm taking because everybody else was doom and gloom around her. And I'm like, nah. I like to wear like a bright color up top. So if I went to visit her in the hospital or whatever, you see something nice and bright. And I like to bring positivity and try to make people laugh. And it might be low-hanging fruit jokes, like they're awful, they're bad. I'll say, these are bad jokes. I know that. But I'm just trying to make light of the situation. Not to say that it's not serious. Again, if you guys have been with me for a little while, I don't try and make light of a situation, but in the seriousness of it. But I do try and make light of the situation of like how can you see the bright side? How can you see something good in it? And how can you laugh through it? Because sometimes through the darkest times, we really, really need to laugh. So on that note, I'm going to laugh us out. All right. And I'm going to push all the buttons to end this. So thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And laughter's catchy. So go laugh some more, because your smile, your positivity, your laughter will spread and ripple out and out and out and out. And that's world peace right there. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Laugh it out. Rock on. Peace out.